Alissa, your CW Star, and I'm here at the basement where American Idol winner Caleb Johnson is performing. I sat down with him just before sound check to talk about life after Idol.
And I can't stop falling, there's no falling gravity. Whoa.
Here we are almost a year to the day, actually, after you won American Idol. What has the last year been like for you?
You know, the last year has just kind of been a continuation of the year before. You know, we've been, I just released my first debut music video for my single, Fighting Gravity, back in March.
What we've been through.
And so now we are on tour right now, promoting that single, promoting the record Testify, and just getting that music out there to people and just, you know, bringing the album to life, you know, in a live setting. And so it's just been a total blast. It's been a lot of work, but you know, the main thing is that we're having a ton of fun doing it, so I ain't got no complaints here.
What's the best thing about being the American Idol?
You know, one of the best things about being, winning the show was meeting some really incredible people. Like, you know, like I got to go sing the national anthem at the Wounded Warrior, or the national anthem for the National Memorial Day concert in Washington, so I got to go back and meet like a ton of like, you know, wounded warriors and soldiers, and that was really, you know, an honor and such a humbling experience. And also, you know, getting to visit, you know, a children's hospital and meet some incredible kids that, you know, have been through so much in their life that, you know, it's just an incredible thing to witness their strength and their perseverance, and not only that, but their families too that have been there by their sides, you know, since day one. And so, you know, just getting to meet people and have eye-opening experiences like that, it's been really a treat, you know, and a blessing to be able to do that.
What's been the hardest thing about being American Idol?
It's a little bit trickier now to kind of go out in public and, you know, do normal things without kind of getting recognized or whatever, but it's cool to meet, you know, new people, and it's been amazing. But, you know, that's something I'm still having to try to get used to, is that people know who you are, but you have no idea who they are. So it's a cool kind of bizarre new world for me now, but it's a lot of fun.
Is it everything you expected? Like when you were doing the contest and then you won, has your life for the past year been everything you thought it would be?
Yeah, it has, and then it's been some, I mean, it's not all been easy, you know, it's work, you know, it's a job, so you have to kind of bust your butt and put every ounce of energy that you have into your passion and your dream to make it a reality. And, you know, it's great that I won the show and all that, but that's been there, done that. That was last year, so now it's like, got a record out, got a band, we're gonna get the band on the road and tour, and, you know, and just keep building an audience and building a legitimate fan base, you know, because with the show gives you a great platform and a great visibility, and it brings you tons of fans, but that only goes so far, and you have to go beyond the show and kind of be a real artist. Even though, you know, on the show, you know, I was, you know, using my artistry, you know, to take songs and twist them up and doing all this stuff, but now it's like the real deal now. It's like, it's not just a show, it's now you're an artist making records, touring and stuff like that.
And let's talk about your album, Testify. You made it very quickly in 3 weeks, which is unheard of, I think.
Yeah, you know, we did the record last year, literally like right after the show. I did it in 3 weeks. We took 1 week off to write it and then 2 weeks to record and track, and it was just an amazing process. You know, I love making records. That's one of my dreams, and I got to do it, and it was great working with Howard Benson and his team of people, and it's just something that, you know, I'll always love and always, you know, am proud of. I'm super proud of that album. You know, it's available on iTunes everywhere. It's just something that I think really embodies and captures who I am as a singer, as a performer, as an artist, and you know, I just can't wait for people to listen to it and, you know, enjoy it. So it's awesome.
Well, I listened to it. I think my favorite track on there is Save Me. I like that one. What's your favorite track on the album?
I love songs like Devil's Daughter and Fighting Gravity and Testify, and I mean, I like all of them, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I know, how could you not? It's your debut album.
They're my babies, yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about Fighting Gravity. That is a very powerful music video, and I heard a little bit about the backstory. Maybe briefly tell us where you got the idea for that music video.
Well, I got the inspiration from the video back last year when I visited a children's hospital, and one of the last patients that I saw was a young boy who was suffering from a terminal rare pediatric brain cancer. And he unfortunately passed away, you know, I think a week after I visited him. And it was just a really haunting moment in my life when I walked into the room, ICU room, and just witnessed his mother basically just watching her son die right before her eyes. And it was something about that just really, it just touched me in a way that I was like, I really wanted to tell that story and show people what I saw in the room through my eyes. And so we worked out this really great concept with this director named Mark Staubach in LA. We got it all together and we decided that the song Fighting Gravity would be a great marriage of that sonically and visually. And then we shot it in LA in January and then released it in March. And so the response has been awesome. And that's what I wanted it to do. You know, that's exactly the whole point of the whole video.
Yeah, what do you hope people get out of it when they watch it?
Well, see, when I did the song on tour last year, a lot of people connected that song with death, with like a passing of a loved one and stuff like that. And so they said it was like a song of comfort. And so even though the story is so sad, I think the video is done so elegantly and beautifully that it just kind of tells the tale of like, you know, no matter what mortal pains you're in, there's something beyond that. And that, you know, that was the metaphor from going into outer space and getting a rocket ship was because he loved outer space. So like, as a metaphor of him dying and going to heaven, he goes up into outer space. And so, you know, I just think it's just a video of comfort and just also reminding people, you know, how blessed they are to be able to live every day, you know, healthy and just take those moments into consideration, even the slightest moments. And I think that's what that moment did to me in my life. And so hopefully that video does the same for other people, you know.
Are you working on a new album now?
Yeah, I've been in Nashville for the 3 months. Songwriting sessions, I've been working with my band. We did, you know, just been compiling a bunch of songs together. And just hopefully want to start recording an album by the end of this year and then do the same thing all over again and tour it next year.
And people see you, they think, oh, that was the rocker from American Idol. But there's more to you than just that, right?
I guess, yeah. No, yeah. See, that's kind of the thing that you have to do now is kind of get past the stigma of the show. You know, even though I love the show, it gave me so much and all this stuff. That's in the past. That's how I got my start in the business. Now it's time for that chapter to close and then move on to the real deal stuff, you know. But it's been an amazing kickoff.
I know that you're going to the finale. Do you still follow it? Do you still watch and think like, oh, I know what they're going through right now?
Yeah,
what are they going through right now?
You know, from watching the show this year, it's kind of like looking in on the outside and just really knowing exactly what these kids are going through. It's tough because you want to reach out to them and talk to them about it and like help them out, but you can't because it's kind of like you got to let them figure out just like I figured it out on my own. And just, you know, do what feels right. Pick songs that make you feel good. Pick songs that are going to make an audience feel good. Pick songs that you connect with. You know, it's like as an artist, that's where your artistry comes in, is picking songs that are not just cover songs and like living in those songs and embodying those songs and like, you know, telling those stories. And so, you know, I've been watching, you know, a little bit, you know, off and on. I haven't had a lot of time, but I've been watching the YouTube reels and highlights. And, you know, it's just kind of surreal, you know, watching a new batch come in and seeing, you know, who's going to rise to the top and, you know, who's going to fight their way. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see who wins it this year.
Do you still talk to Gina or anyone else from the show?
Yeah, you know, I talk to all of them. Actually, Jess Muse is open for me in Alabama when I go to Alabama next week. And I talk to Gina all the time, Sam, Alex, you know, all those guys. And so it's everybody's just, you know, working. They're just trying to, you know, continue the dream and like just really work really hard at it and, you know, just hopefully to continue it, you know, continue their music and just get their music out there to people. So it's, yeah, of course I talk to all of them.
Well, last question about Idol, we'll move past that. But I want to say the judge's name and then you tell me one word to describe them.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll start with Harry.
Goofy.
Keith.
Cool.
Ryan Seacrest.
Professional.
J-Lo.
Sexy.
Because you do have the platform American Idol, which is amazing, but you're also an artist that's starting out. Like you're
right. This is like ground zero. I mean, this is really. This tour is like basically a ground zero. It's like you're literally. Nobody's heard your band live. Nobody's heard your album live. Nobody's heard any of it. All they've seen is the show. And so now it's time to take the fans that you gained from that show, and build off of them into music fans. You know, it's like it's a completely different world. The music world and the television world. It's just two separate monsters. And so you take those fans that you got with you from the show and you move them on into music fans. And so that's kind of what we're doing here at the Basement. We just did a show in Charlotte and, you know, we're going to continue the tour, you know, the rest of the month. And so it's really, you are starting from ground zero and it's awesome because you have a great little kind of kickstart, you know, where you're not just playing to anybody, you're playing to people. Like the people are going to, whether your name, they know who you are or they don't know who you are, the name is going to kind of be they're like, well, we're going to see that guy. Oh yeah, he was on that show. Let's go check him out or whatever. And then they see him like, oh, this is great. Let's tell our friends. And then it builds up from that, you know.
So if someone has, you know, all of your music, your whole album, and you could say, listen to one song, what song would that be?
I would say it would be a tie between Devil's Daughter and Finding Gravity. Those two, yeah.
And you're headlining your first tour. How do you feel? Like, does it feel like this is everything you wanted? Do you feel like it's harder, more work than you thought it would be? Like, how do you feel
I think it's
now?
both. I think it's what I wanted, but it's a lot of work. I mean, you know, we've done like 4 shows in a row, 1 day off, and then now this is the 3rd show out of the last 4 shows of the first leg before I go to LA. So we've done 8 shows total in a week. I think a week and a half or whatever, you know. So it's like, that's tough on me, that's tough on my voice, but it's what you love to do. So it's like, you got to do it, you know.
Let's talk about what you're doing with DoSomething.org.
Okay.
Because I know that has something to do with Fighting Gravity. Tell us about your relationship.
We kind of did a partnership with them. Not really a partnership. There's just something in conjunction with the video to kind of tie it into if people wanted to do something, you know, and give back and help to families, kids, whatever, that are struggling with these, you know, terminal illnesses or diseases. You know, it's just a really simple and easy way to literally make a kid's day, like an entire, like you just make their world. And it's just, you know, you're creating like little games, coloring books, drawing stuff. It's fun, and I kid you not, like it can literally make a kid's world, you know. And it's really simple. So it's Do Something. You just check out the website. I think it's like DoSomething.org, whatever, and find all the information on that, and you print out all the sheets and stuff.
Are you changing labels? Is that what's going on right now?
Yeah. Well, I'm leaving Interscope because my term's up for this year. But see, Interscope didn't really promote my album last year. So basically, the video and everything that we did was on my own. It was like with no label support, nothing. It was like all on me. Like I did all that, you know.
Really? How does it make you feel that they didn't help you with that?
You know, it sucks, but it's like that's life, and that's the business. That's the music business. You know, people get screwed over all the time. You know, it's like this is completely not unheard of. But the main thing is that I'm taking the bull by the horns and doing it, you know, on my own. It's really you gotta put your big boy pants to kick ass, you know, regardless. And so once I think my term actually is going to end next week, I'll be a free agent, and then we're going to be shopped for a new deal with a label that's actually going to like get behind and support, you know, and actually promote, you know, the artist's music. Because if you do it, then if you don't do that, it's like, what's the point, you know?
Do you think it's because your sound was different than some of the other American Idols?
I think so. You know, I think that's the weird paradox of being a rock singer and winning a pop show. It's like, it's just kind of this weird kind of balance where it's like, well, you know, he's rock and roll, but he won this pop show. So it's like the marketing, they're like, what do we do? And it's like, I'm just rock. It's no big deal. It's like, it's not hard to do that. But
and you won, so people obviously voted for you.
Yeah,
people like it.
Yeah. So it's been a battle, but you know, the good news is it's all coming and going, and it's done. And so now it's like, finally, I'll be able to do exactly what I wanted to do, you know, and kind of pick up right where I left off. So I ain't got no complaints here.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, so when you were on Idol, I love that you headbang.
Yeah.
And I want you to show me how to do a good headbang.
Okay.
Okay.
So like when you're getting ready to headbang, sometimes if you do it the wrong way, it hurts afterwards. Your shoulders, your neck.
I don't want to be sore.
So there's something where you put your whole body into it. So you get into it, and you kind of like start rocking, and then you go. Bow, 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 bow.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. So start rocking, and then.
Bam, bam, bam. She's on fire, fire, baby. Yeah, yeah. Bam,
Well, I'm dizzy. Do you get dizzy after you do it?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes. That's pretty awesome.
That was awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. That was cool.
There's no fighting gravity. Whoa.